On the 19th of June, I moved to New York for college. This video is for students who are moving for college, whether that's for an Erasmus year, for 4 years. This video will be particularly focused on moving to the United States, as that's my experience. I will be talking about what I did to prepare, what it was like moving at this very weird time, what it was like moving into my accommodation, how I'm settling in. I'm still settling in. It's been almost 2 weeks and I'm still getting used to things. So if you'd like to hear some advice on traveling for college, stay tuned. The most important thing to get sorted as soon as you can, especially if you're moving to the United States or to a country in which you need to obtain a visa, is to apply for that visa. This year made things a lot harder because you can, as a student, you can apply for expedite or emergency appointments, but you're only limited to one, and the office wasn't open a lot of the time this past year in Ireland, so it was hard to get an appointment. I got one for the 9th of June back in January. I was hoping to get one sooner, but I couldn't get another emergency appointment because I already applied for one and was denied. So I kept on the lookout for earlier appointments. I couldn't get anything earlier, so 9th of June was the day. But my biggest advice especially if you're traveling to the United States, make sure that you start applying and looking for an appointment on time, because it can be tricky to get an appointment at the embassy. What you need for a visa, for an F1 visa as a student, is a Form I-20 from your college. This is a certificate of eligibility for immigration status from your university or from the institution you're going for. You'll also need to pay the CVIS fee. If you just Google it, it's its own website. You of course need a valid passport. You'll need to make an application on the embassy website. You need the DS-160 form filled out, and for that you'll need a photo and provide lots of information about you and life and your association with the United States, all that kind of thing, all security things. You'll also need another photo. You'll have submitted a photo for that application, but you'll need another printed out photo, 5 by 5 centimeters. Many photo shops have a service in which they print it out perfectly for you. I just went to one in my town. You'll also need proof that you're a student, admission letter. You'll definitely need proof of your ability to finance your trip, so make sure to bring documents that show that you can fund your time at university for the year, 4 years, however long you're going for.
Near to my appointment, I was also asked to pay a reciprocity fee. I'm not sure if this will always apply, and maybe it depends on the type of visa, but I had to pay it. The price of it depended on how long my stay in the United States was.
And yeah, all this information will be provided to you, like what you'll need for your visa appointment when you apply for the visa thing, but I just thought I'd share it, because there's a good few things to prepare for that. The visa appointment itself, it wasn't too bad. I had everything prepared. It was in the embassy in Dublin. I arrived on time, I just did everything to make sure that it went okay. And they told me then and there that my visa was approved, which was very exciting. I had 10 days to my booked flight to go to New York, so I was very much hoping I could get my visa on time. And I think that was on a Wednesday. I think over the weekend I got a notification saying that my visa would be ready, and I went and picked it up. They deliver it out to a courier, and you go and pick it up. It's in your passport, and yeah, I was set. Almost. If you're going to the United States, you need to health insurance. Colombia has a health plan, so I've joined that. You can sort out things like a US number and a bank account once you go over. Make sure to book a COVID test for when you're flying over. So I think the rule is for Aer Lingus, I'm sure it's the same for other flights, but for Aer Lingus the rule is you should have proof of a negative COVID test within 3 days of your flight. So I flew on a Saturday, I got my COVID test done on a Thursday, and I got my results on Friday. And I was negative, of course. Thank goodness. Of course, times are constantly changing. Maybe when you're watching this, there'll be more vaccinations going around in Ireland or in Europe in general. So who knows? By the time you watch this, maybe you won't need a COVID test. But do remember, these times are different. There's a lot more to organise when travelling, so make sure to get all those things done. Now, packing. I brought 2 big suitcases, as in big ones. I brought a mini hand luggage, as in, one of those mini suitcases. I packed a lot of clothes. I mainly packed summer clothes because I was moving here in the summer, and New York is very hot in the summer. My parents are hoping to come later in the summer or later in the year to visit me, and hopefully then they'll be able to bring my winter clothes, because New York in the winter is very cold. Because only I was traveling over. In ideal times, I would have flown over with my parents, but because of the time I was moving in, June 2021, there was only travel allowed for visa holders, as in F1, J1, normal US citizens. So it was just me traveling. I could only really carry 3 bags. Hopefully my parents will be over, but if not, they can always ship things over. it'll work out. I forgot to mention that I was moving into accommodation, or I have now moved into accommodation that is an apartment. I wanted to bring some things over so I could at least survive the first few days or weeks in my apartment without having to go out and buy a bunch of stuff. I brought over things like cutlery and towels and bed linen and sheets. I brought pots, a bowl and a plate, all stuff that I just knew I would need my first few days before I could go out and buy more things. To be fair, I have not even bought more cutlery or plates and bowls yet, so that's kind of bad. But it is just me living here for now. My friend is moving in later in the summer. He's doing an internship right now in Philadelphia, so he'll be moving in later. I'll elaborate on this later, but I will mention that the area I moved in was very handy. There were a lot of shops around nearby. That meant I could buy things easily and bring it back to my apartment easily. So I'll get to that later. Unless you're moving somewhere that is very remote, and you will need very much everything essential, like, you know, it won't be easy to buy things. You're going to a city or a town or whatever country you're in, it's very, these things are accessible. Don't worry if you forget something. Of course, please pack the most essential things, like, I don't know, your passport. No, but also things like, for me, I had braces when I was younger, so it's very important for me to have my retainers, because they're not replaceable at all. Well, they are, but it's very complicated to replace them. If you forget something, don't worry, you can get it when you're here. Yeah, when I say things like I packed towels and I packed bed linen and things like that, that was just to make my life easier when I got here. So finally, the 19th of June arrived and I was flying over on my own to New York. I wasn't really nervous about moving from home, but I was more nervous about the fact that, like, I had to do so much stuff on my own without much help. And I was afraid something was going to go wrong. So I'm definitely a perfectionist, but I have to remind myself that not everything's going to go smoothly. It's not going to be easy traveling over, but I'll just do my best. What definitely made my experience better was preparing as much as I could. My parents were a great help in this. They helped me organize like a lift from the airport to the hotel I was staying in. Had all of my documents. Oh, I'll get this actually. Because I had a lot of documents, I kept them in this little purse that my friend got me. I had my passport in here. I brought confirmation sheets about like my negative COVID test, flight tickets, everything. This was really handy, which like to use to organize all the little documents and stuff, so I recommend bringing a little travel wallet. Something I have to remind myself or like mentally prepare for was the fact that not everything will go smoothly. There will be moments in which I'm unsure of myself and that I'm not really sure what to do, so I just had to remind myself of that. But definitely something to take away from this video at least would be to just prepare as much as you can. So I moved into my hotel. I was there for 2 days. Reason being, there was no move-in. I booked my flight for the 19th of June because that was 10 days after my visa appointment. And they say give about 10 days or so for the visa to be through, and it was ready sooner, but it did suit me to travel at that time because I had essays and assignments due for my summer classes, so it actually worked out pretty well. Flew on Saturday. That evening I went into New York and saw the skyline. I was so excited. Got to the hotel and I think I didn't do that much that evening. I think I went out, got myself some food because technically right now, of course things are constantly changing, but right now, June 2021, there is a self-mandated quarantine for internationals. 10 days if you don't do any tests, but I was taking a test for my Columbia accommodation move-in anyway on day 3, and I think it's like if you take a test on day 3, 4 or 5 and it comes out negative, then you're pretty much okay. And it's self-mandated as well, so it was more just like to do with your own judgment. So I didn't do much in my first 5 days in New York anyway. So I arrived in New York that evening. I just bought food in a shop and I came back to my hotel room and ate and then went to sleep because I was tired. The next day though, I did go and get the vaccine. I went to the Natural History Museum in New York and that was really cool. I just walked in and the next day, the Monday, I was moving into my accommodation. So I got up and I had a COVID test in Columbia. I got up and did that and I saw Columbia's campus. It was great. I met the building staff, got my keys, had my hand luggage with me, brought it up, looked around, relaxed for a bit because it was hot that day, and then I went back, got an Uber and went to get my suitcases and got an Uber back up. So I was using Uber a bit that day, got my 2 suitcases, brought them up, thank God there's an elevator in this building, and then I started unpacking and just getting used to being in this place, and it's a great place. I have a kitchen, a little dining room, a bathroom, and my own bedroom, of course, and living room, which I haven't used that much yet because I'm mainly chilling in my room. And the other bedroom is, of course, my friends. So yes, I really love the place. It's very close to Columbia. It's like a 10-minute walk, or less really, but you know, depending on what part of campus you're going to. Also a park near me, Riverside Park, and it's a great location. I mainly unpacked that day. I probably went to bed early again that Monday because I was tired. The next day, I got my air conditioning. I thought I was going to get it much later, but thank God I got it that day. Especially in the summer, if you're moving to America, get an air conditioner as soon as you can if you don't already have one, because it's a blessing. There's a hardware store very near me, which is fantastic because it means if I need to buy anything big, which I already have, I've bought some like bins, and I've bought a clothes horse. It means I can just walk back to my apartment with them, and I'm not like dying and walking like hundreds of blocks. So I had an essay due last week. I spent a lot of time doing that, so I haven't, and still really haven't done like a proper grocery shop, and I haven't really decked out my apartment fully yet, but I've done a few of the essential things. Obviously just got food in general for me to live, of course, but also got things like cleaning things. I had already packed some things like tea towels and cloths and things, but I decked myself up with toilet paper, you know, all the like little essentials you may forget about until you move in. I found this very handy checklist from Columbia about what to get for your apartment. It's more so for students who are moving into an apartment that's not even furnished at all. Luckily my place is furnished. It is Columbia General Studies housing. It does have things like a desk and a bed with a mattress and chair. You know, I didn't have to like furnish the place, but I still have to get like little things, you know, to get things like a microwave. I didn't have a microwave, so I ordered one. You know, things like that you may not notice until you move in. Very handily, it was Prime Day, there were 2 days of Prime Day. That happened as soon as I arrived, so I was able to order some things. So I ordered a microwave, an air fryer. I also got a hair dryer, because I brought my hair dryer from Ireland, but because it's like in a converter plug, it's just not as powerful, which is very annoying. I didn't expect that. I thought it would be okay. So I spent a lot of time going back and forth from hardware stores, supermarkets, and pharmacies, you know, getting things for myself. In the past like 1.5 weeks or so I've been here, I have mainly been in Morningside Heights, the area of Columbia, but I did spend one day down in Midtown with some friends, so that was really fun. But I've mainly been sticking around Morningside Heights, exploring around here. I've met up with friends, gone to cafes, restaurants around this area, getting to learn campus. I'm still getting the hang of certain buildings, you know, which one's which. I started my summer B classes. There's 2 halves of the summer semester, and I have one class in person in Shermore Horn. I think that's the name. That was so cool to have an in-person class again. So that has me excited about everything New York and everything Columbia. Just going on little walks around my block just makes a difference. It just makes me feel more familiar with the area. Of course, I've also done things like decorate my room. This is I don't know why I say it as if I've done loads. I've literally hardly done anything. This is the most decoration I've done. I have little things from home, like a picture of my family and little New York trinkets and a little teddy bear from friends. So far it's been kind of all over the place because I've been every now and then doing little things like learning how the washing works downstairs in the laundry room, trying to work out my air fryer because it had a weird burning smell from the first time I used it, and I had to ring my parents and be like, am I about to burn this place down? I didn't. We're okay. I'd say my biggest piece of advice is to, as I've said many times, prepare as much as you can. I hope this video is giving you an idea of what kind of things you need to think about when you're traveling, especially to the United States, but also in general if you're traveling anywhere for college. So research as much as possible. Talk to people that you may know in the university. Don't try and reach out to people. Definitely get a feel for what kind of things you need. So take initiative in getting organized and researching, and make sure you're as prepared as possible. But remember, number 2, remember that not everything will go perfectly or smoothly. You might feel uncertain about yourself, as I did, but things will work out in the end. 3, there is still a lot to do after you move, once you've gotten unpacked at least in your new place. And also, hopefully, again, as I've said, things are changing, but definitely take things like the pandemic into account when you're planning on moving, what you need to do, what you need to quarantine, if you need to test. So yes, I hope you found this video in some way helpful, and I hope it has gotten you excited about your potential move for college. This is going to be a big jump. It's going to be a lot, especially if you're moving, and obviously things will change, but if you're moving and you're on your own while moving, give credit to yourself. It's an amazing feat to achieve. Best of luck in moving, and I hope you have the best year, 4 years, however long you're going for. Enjoy your time in university, in the new country. You deserve it.